There are definitely some superhero movie fans out there who think that they could create an epic version of Deadpool. But just because they might not be directing the sequel doesn't mean that their ideas aren't great. In fact, we're going to show you some surprising theories about Deadpool 2 that just might come true.
Hit it!
Before we delve into these theories, take a moment to subscribe for more from CBR. Now let's get started.
I'm an X-Men.
Trainee!
Shut it!
New costume. What is an epic hero without an even more incredible costume? It's no secret that Wade Wilson needs a lot of coverage when it comes to a new suit, but many fans believe that he may be in the market for a new look. During the 2016 Deadpool movie, Wade Wilson took a quick and reluctant trip to Xavier's school for gifted youngsters.
Yeah, it's me, Deadpool, and I got an offer that you can't refuse!
We saw the infamous Merc with the Mouth teaming up with Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead in order to stop the bad guys. Afterwards, Wade left the heroes with presumably insincere promises to totally call and hang out sometime.
That was not mean!
Except now we know that the trio will definitely be reuniting in the second movie. But what could this mean for Wade? Many fans believe that he will get a wardrobe makeover and trade in his traditional black and red duds for something more Xavier approved. We all know how obsessed actor Ryan Reynolds is with Deadpool's costume, and he briefly posted a photo of it, revealing a much darker suit than we were used to seeing. This seems to reinforce the fan theory that we'll get to see our beloved Wade Wilson modeling a whole new outfit during the next movie.
Okay. People are dead.
The end of X-Men. It seems as if the X-Men movies have been going on forever, with absolutely no end in sight. But if anyone in the universe could ruin a popular and successful franchise, it would definitely be Deadpool. He's made no secrets about his disdain for the X-Men.
It's not boy band.
Sure it's not.
Although he does deign to work with them temporarily. Many fan theories claim that the X-Men franchise is getting ready to wrap up, and Deadpool 2 will be the harbinger of its destruction. Apparently, Deadpool 2, Dark Phoenix, and the New Mutants will be the final Marvel movies in the franchise, according to many fan speculations. You see, Disney is working on buying out 21st Century Fox, and the deal is set to conclude in 2019. Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants were originally supposed to premiere in 2018, and many fans believe that they were delayed until 2019 in order to give the deal time to go through first. While it seems like the future of Deadpool is both bright and assured, the same cannot be said for his sometime cohorts, the X-Men. Could it be possible that Deadpool 2 will signal the end of the X-Men?
Hello there. Welcome back. I'm glad you could join me today.
Good old Bob. You've probably seen the teaser for Deadpool 2 involved the beloved artist Bob Ross, but sadly that isn't the Bob that we expect to see in the next movie. In the comic books, Wade Wilson has a good buddy named Bob. Well, by good buddy, we mean a fellow mercenary that Deadpool once knocked out with a headbutt. It's all about context, people. Sure, Bob is a member of notable evildoer group Hydra, but he's a mere henchman, and not exactly a high-ranking member who is super dedicated to the cause. In fact, in the comic book version, Bob was Wade's sidekick for quite a while, making him a natural and unsurprising member to the cast of the next movie. Bob initially joined Hydra for the Super Dental Plan, but things were so bad that somehow joining forces with Deadpool seemed like a better career move. He and Wade had all sorts of adventures and shenanigans together. Many fans feel that Bob is such a great character, it would only be natural of him to make an appearance in the next movie. Given the fact that Deadpool does seem to be trying to make new friends, it would make sense to bring this character to life in Deadpool 2.
Why are the visual effects not done? It's a metal arm! It's not like we're trying to remove a mustache!
The virus. In the Marvel Universe, Cable's metal arm is as distinguished as its backstory is convoluted. Way back in the 1986 Uncanny X-Men, Jean Grey's clone gave birth to a son named Nathan Summers. Naturally, he developed telekinesis and became irresistible to the villain, Apocalypse. The dastardly Apocalypse kidnapped the boy and infected him with something called the techno-organic virus. If left untreated, it would have transformed Nathan's human body into one made of metal and steel, which actually sounds way cooler than a normal squishy human body. Later, Nathan would take control of his telekinetic abilities and use it to keep the virus at bay. In addition, he transformed into the time-traveling Cable in New Mutants. Many fans believe that we'll be seeing a dumbed-down version of Cable in the new Deadpool movie. Instead of going through his complicated backstory, he'll simply be a dude with a bionic arm. There are so many confusing parts of Cable that it wouldn't be that surprising if the studio decides to simplify things a bit for the audience. Although trailers lead us to believe that he'll possess telekinetic powers, the movie might gloss over who his parents are, and may omit the whole virus thing altogether.
Yeah, Your bullets, they're really fast.
Sluggo. While many fans believe that we could someday see Wade's former sidekick Bob again, even more are rooting for his old nemesis, Sluggo, to show up. During the epic end scene battle in the first movie, Deadpool and his newly acquired allies fight against Ajax and his goons to save the love of his life. But in the original version of the script, we were supposed to see even more examples from the gallery of villains, but they had to be cut due to budget concerns. But with a whole new movie comes a brand new pile of money, and many fans believe that we'll see some of those villains in the upcoming sequel. One of them in particular is expected to be seen, and he's a man who goes by the name Sluggo. He appears 9 times in the comic books and is quite familiar with the Weapon X program and Deadpool himself. His real name is Bernard Hoyster, and he's an invulnerable man who easily found work as a mercenary. He represented arms dealer Tolliver at one point, before joining forces with Deadpool. Sluggo was written off for a while, before ultimately fighting against Deadpool, and spoiler alert, he didn't win that battle.
Oh, you're living the dreams, DP.
Yeah.
Cameo. If you thought those obscure comic book characters had complicated backstories, just think about the Marvel Universe itself for a second. At the moment, Fox owns the rights to X-Men and the Fantastic Four. This means that the characters you know and love from those movies won't be showing up in other Marvel franchises anytime soon.
That's gross.
But considering the big deal that's scheduled to wrap up in 2019, surprising things could still happen. And let's keep in mind that if all of these superheroes exist within the same universe, it would be bizarre if the X-Men and the Avengers didn't meet up at some point in the future. In fact, many fans think that Deadpool 2 would be as good a time as any for the teams to finally come together on the big screen. But we do have some theories on who exactly would be the ones to bridge the gap. Nick Fury seems an obvious choice for a liaison between Deadpool, the X-Men, and the Avengers. And then of course we have Tony Stark, and this wouldn't be his first time acting as an ambassador. With the two universes so close to converging on one another, it isn't completely out of the question that Deadpool 2 could be the perfect meeting ground for these franchises.
Negasonic, come, we have mission.
The missing X-Men. We all remember that the first time we saw Deadpool visit the X-Men at their home base, it wasn't exactly bustling with activity. In fact, we didn't see any of the X-Men besides Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
It's almost like the studio couldn't afford another X-Men.
But fans expect there to be some X-Men cameos in the next movie, and many expect to see none other than Charles Xavier himself.
It's been almost 15 years, hasn't it?
There have been rumors that Ryan Reynolds was involved in a top-secret scene with another actor, and many believe that we might see Patrick Stewart or James McAvoy.
Name's Xavier. Charles Xavier.
Both of whom have portrayed Professor X at some point. There's also the scene where we see Deadpool fooling around with a motorized wheelchair, giving more credit to the theory that we might end up seeing Professor X in the second movie. Other fans believe that we might get to see a full contingent of X-Men characters, including Jean Grey, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, and Mystique. Those characters are all scheduled to appear in the upcoming X-Men Dark Phoenix, so it makes sense that Fox might want to tease us a bit and get us excited about it.
Nostalgia. It's delicate, but potent.
Mr. Sinister. Earlier, we mentioned that the release dates of some Fox movies have gotten pushed back. Right now, it's looking like Deadpool 2 will be the 11th release of the popular X-Men film franchise, but it wasn't supposed to be that way. Originally, The New Mutants was scheduled to be released in 2018, before being pushed back until August 2019. The studio blames the later dates on the need for reshoots in order to ramp up the horror movie feel of the film. We're pretty bummed about having to wait, since this movie promised to introduce Mad Men actor Jon Hamm as Nathaniel Essex, otherwise known as the villain, Mr. Sinister. But the shooting schedule being switched around led us to think that it might actually happen. It also looks like we get another clue in the trailer in which Deadpool pays homage to the late great Bob Ross. At one point, an image appears that we couldn't help but notice bears a close resemblance to Mr. Sinister. Not only does Mr. Sinister tie in perfectly with the X-Men, but he was the primary antagonist in the 2013 game Deadpool.
Should I be in prayer?
Vanessa.
Wait. What's a nice place like you doing and a girl like this?
Vanessa. In the first Deadpool, the character Vanessa is an undeniably awesome lady who accomplishes the incredible feat of winning Wade Wilson's heart. Many fans noticed that the love story we saw in the first movie was much happier than the one in the comics. In the comic version, Vanessa has always had mutant powers in the form of shape-shifting abilities. She worked as a mercenary going by the name Copycat until being recruited into the Weapon X program. At one point, she went head-to-head with Sabretooth and didn't survive the encounter, encounter. Deadpool eventually helped her recover so that she could live on and operate a food truck selling chimichangas. And no, we aren't making that part up. One fan theory is that Vanessa's mutant powers will finally begin to manifest during Deadpool 2. During the first movie, we saw her spending time in an oxygen deprivation chamber, which is what helped to activate Wade Wilson's superpowers. So, in conclusion, people believe that Vanessa will either perish horribly, develop superpowers, or some combination of the two. Basically, we expect to see Vanessa have an even more prominent role in Deadpool 2, and wouldn't be surprised if she ends up with some powers of her own.
No, maybe not the nether.
Which one of these fan theories do you think will come true in Deadpool 2? And which do you think are just wishful thinking? Tell us what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to leave some theories of your own. Click that subscribe button, and check out some more videos from CBR. Bye for now.